third time that we've actually detected an object that has come from beyond our solar system.
The trajectory of this object is very peculiar. It actually lies in the orbital plane of the planets around the Sun, within 5 degrees or so.
Something colossal is tearing through the heavens faster than anything we've seen before. It's not space dust or a rogue rock. This might be an interstellar messenger.
Back in 2017, something really weird happened, and most of us didn't even realize it. Earth had a visitor. Not from Mars or the Moon, but from another star system. Something came drifting in from deep space, an object unlike anything we've ever seen before. It slipped through our solar system without warning, and only later did we realize just how strange it truly was. Now, in 2025, it's happening again. Another mysterious object is heading toward our sun, but this time we see it coming. And what we're learning? It's about to get even weirder. Before we jump into this strange new chapter, make sure to like this video and subscribe. You're not going to want to miss what's coming next. Let's rewind to where it all began. Meet Oumuamua, the first known object from outside our solar system to pass through. It's our very first confirmed interstellar visitor. It likely spent millions, maybe even billions of years drifting through the dark emptiness of space before reaching us. But by the time we finally spotted it, it had already passed closest to the sun and was on its way back out into the great unknown. We caught a glimpse just in time, and what we saw left scientists scratching their heads. Oumuamua gets its name from the Hawaiian observatory that first discovered it. In Hawaiian, the word means a messenger from afar arriving first. At first, astronomers thought it was just another comet, but it wasn't behaving like one. There was no glowing tail of gas and dust. Then they thought, okay, maybe it's an asteroid, just a rock, right? But again, something was off. This object was moving way too fast. When we detected it zipping past Earth, it was clocking in at about 87 kilometers per second. That's so fast it couldn't be caught by the sun's gravity. It was on what scientists call a hyperbolic trajectory, meaning it was just passing through, never to return. And get this, it actually came closer to the sun than Mercury. That kind of flyby should have slowed it down, thanks to the sun's massive gravitational pull. But instead, it did the opposite. It sped up. Yeah, you heard that right. Oumuamua actually accelerated as it left the solar system. That shouldn't have happened. Unless something else was going on. If Oumuamua were just a chunk of rock, it should have followed the rules of physics. So the fact that it didn't, that it changed speed after leaving the sun, means there had to be some kind of force pushing it. But from where? There was no visible exhaust, no jets, nothing we could detect. So if something was pushing it from the inside, it means this object wasn't just a rock. And it gets even stranger. Since the object was so far away and moving so fast, we couldn't get a close-up photo. So how do we know what it looked like? Well, by measuring how the sunlight bounced off it, scientists could figure out its shape as it tumbled through space. And what they saw? It didn't look like your typical asteroid. Its brightness kept changing dramatically, suggesting it was shaped like a long, thin cigar, or maybe even a flat, pancake-like disc. Whatever it was rotating in a very unusual way. Another sign that this thing was not like anything we've ever tracked before. And now, here we are in 2025, and another object, possibly another interstellar visitor, is heading our way. Only this time, we've got the James Webb Space Telescope watching. We've got better tech. We're ready to track it, observe it, and maybe finally figure out what these strange messengers from the stars really are. Could it be natural? Could it be something else? We're not saying aliens, but we're not saying it either. So what do you think? Are we being visited by unknown forces from other star systems? Could Oumuamua have been something more than a rock drifting through space? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing your theories. Big planets like Saturn and Jupiter? Yeah, they're super reflective. So even though they're incredibly far away, we can spot them pretty easily. But when it comes to small stuff, like asteroids, it's a whole different story. These things are usually just dark, dusty space rocks that don't reflect much light. And because they're round, the brightness we see from Earth tends to stay pretty steady and faint. But Oumuamua, that one broke the rules. First off, it was way too bright to be a typical rock. That means it's probably made of something other than the usual asteroid material. Definitely not your average hunk of space rubble. And second, as astronomers tracked it across the sky, the light it reflected wasn't steady at all. It would pulse, bright, then dim, then bright again, over a 7-hour cycle. That told scientists something big. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't round. It had to have a long and short side, probably long and narrow, like a cigar, slowly tumbling end over end as it zipped through space. Although, to be fair, it could also have been flat and wide, like a saucer, tumbling just the same. But let's be honest. Start talking about flying saucers from another star, and people start giving you that look. Unless that's exactly what it was. In which case, aliens? Now don't worry, we're not going full History Channel conspiracy hour here. We're just laying out the facts. You decide what to believe. So where did this mysterious traveler even come from? Based on the path it took, it came in from the direction of Vega, the brightest star in the constellation Lyra, visible in the northern sky. And that's no random point of light. Vega's been studied for ages. In fact, 14,000 years ago, it was the North Star, the same kind of guiding light Polaris is today. And guess what? It'll be our North Star again around the year 14,000. Now, does that mean Oumuamua came from Vega? Not necessarily. It just came from that direction. Coincidentally, or maybe not, that's the same direction our own solar system is currently moving. So in a way, we didn't just cross paths with Oumuamua. It's like we ran into each other head on. As it looped around the sun, Oumuamua turned and flew straight toward Earth. And here's where things get even more coincidental. This weird, unexplained object from deep space, behaving in ways that defy logic, just happened to pass really close to us. Okay, close in space terms. It was still about 24 million kilometers away at its nearest point, but still, pretty close for something from another star. The wild part? We didn't even spot it until after it had already passed Earth and was flying back out into interstellar space. So even though it came right through our cosmic backyard, we barely had time to study it, let alone figure out what it was. There were talks about sending a probe to chase it down, but that's easier said than done. Oumuamua is moving way too fast for any rocket we currently have. To even have a shot at catching it, we'd need a crazy slingshot maneuver. Fly a spacecraft to Jupiter, use its gravity to fall toward the sun, fire the engines during the close flyby, and launch it out of the solar system at record-breaking speeds. Yeah, not happening anytime soon. Now, if this had been the only interstellar object we'd ever seen, maybe the chase would have been worth it. But something unexpected happened after Oumuamua's visit. We got another one. In 2019, a second interstellar object showed up. This one was called Borisov, named after the amateur astronomer who discovered it. Just like Oumuamua, it came flying in on a hyperbolic path, too fast for the sun to hold on to. And just like before, it came from the northern sky, this time out of the constellation Cassiopeia. But unlike Oumuamua, Borisov looked and acted like a textbook comet. It had a tail. It was made of ice and dust, just like comets we've seen over and over in our own solar system. Still fascinating, but definitely not as mysterious. The strange part? We went from never spotting an interstellar object in human history to spotting two within just a couple of years. And then came number 3. Yep, 3I, aka ATLAS. That stands for the third known interstellar object, and it was discovered by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, or ATLAS for short. That's an automated system designed to spot objects that might get a little too close to Earth. It caught this new visitor on July 1st at about 4.5 astronomical units from the Sun, which is a bit farther than Jupiter. Not a lot is known about it yet, but just the fact that we've now seen 3 of these interstellar travelers suggests something big. They might be way more common than we thought. Let's talk about something big, fast, and possibly older than our entire solar system. Meet 3I-ATLAS, the third confirmed interstellar object we've ever spotted. And this one's turning out to be a real cosmic showstopper. But first, Quick Space 101. An astronomical unit, or AU, is just a fancy way of saying the distance between the Earth and the Sun. We use it as a cosmic measuring stick. So when we say that 3I-ATLAS is about 4.5 AU from the Sun, we're talking just beyond Jupiter's orbit. That's pretty far from home, but still close enough to watch. Here's the exciting part. We actually caught this one on the way in. Unlike Oumuamua, which we didn't spot until it was already leaving the solar system, 3I-ATLAS is heading toward the Sun right now, and we're tracking it in real time. So, what makes Atlas stand out? First, it's huge. Early estimates say it could be up to 20 kilometers wide. That's miles bigger than Oumuamua, or even Borisov. And second, it's flying. It's moving way faster than Oumuamua did, and it's not coming straight at us. It's entering the solar system from the side, like a cosmic T-bone collision. That sideways trajectory tells us something big. 3I-ATLAS didn't just come from another star system. It likely came from a completely different region of the galaxy. Somewhere ancient, somewhere distant. Possibly a place formed more than 7 billion years ago, before our sun even existed. That alone makes Atlas fascinating, but there's more. 1. The size. While the glowing coma, that cloud of gas and dust around the object, is about 20 kilometers wide, the solid core inside, called the nucleus, might be up to 11 kilometers across. That's 10 times bigger than Oumuamua and 5 times bigger than Borisov. In other words, interstellar visitors are getting bigger. And since it has a coma, that tells us Atlas is not just a solid rock like Oumuamua. It's a comet, similar in behavior to Borisov, meaning it's made of frozen gases and dust that heat up as it approaches the sun. 2. The path it's taking. This is where things get really interesting. Because of its sideways entrance into the solar system, Atlas is on a sort of cosmic road trip, passing by several planets on its way through. It'll get about 28 million kilometers from Mars, 97 million kilometers from Venus, and then past Jupiter at just 53 million kilometers away. That's one heck of a sightseeing tour for a visitor from deep space. But what about us? Well, Earth will miss out entirely. When Atlas is closest to the inner solar system, we'll be on the opposite side of the sun, totally blocked from view. Our telescopes will lose track of it around October, and we won't be able to see it again until December. By then, it'll already be swinging back out into the galaxy. But wait, could it be something else? Of course, some folks out there have taken this whole cosmic flyby tour a step further. They've suggested this trajectory is too perfect, that Atlas might be acting like a probe, intentionally scanning planets while avoiding close contact with Earth by slipping behind the sun. Now, let's be real, that's a stretch. But when it comes to interstellar objects, we've learned to keep an open mind. After all, our understanding of the universe is constantly evolving. Here's the good news. Unlike Oumuamua, we still have time with 3 IATLAS. We can watch it, study it, and learn from it as it draws closer over the next few months. And who knows, this might actually be our first real shot at intercepting one of these mysterious visitors before it's gone for good. Alright, here's the deal. We probably can't launch anything from Earth fast enough to catch up with 3 IATLAS, but we might already have something out there that could help us take a closer look. We've got spacecraft already orbiting Mars and Jupiter, and while it's a long shot, there is a possible scenario where one of the Mars orbiters could shift its orbit and try to get as close to ATLAS as possible. Even cooler? There's been some talk, again, purely hypothetical, that NASA's Juno spacecraft, currently orbiting Jupiter, could break away and head out to meet Atlas in deep space by next spring. Is it likely? Not really. But wow, would that be awesome? Even just getting a close-up look would help us answer so many questions. Questions we still have about Oumuamua, because we never had the chance to chase it down. If we had, there's a good chance we wouldn't still be debating what the heck it even was. Let's talk possibilities. One popular idea? Oumuamua was a comet. Now, most comets we see in our solar system are made of frozen water, and as they get closer to the sun, they heat up and release vapor. That's how we get those bright, visible tails. Think of it like steam rising from a boiling pot. Easy to spot. But not all gases are visible. Take nitrogen, for example. It makes up about 80% of the air we breathe, yet we can't see it, smell it, or really sense it at all. And yet, it's essential for life on Earth. There's also a familiar solar system object made almost entirely of nitrogen ice. Pluto. Remember Pluto? Former planet status aside, its surface is mostly frozen nitrogen, and it reflects a lot of sunlight. That's why it looks so bright in telescopes, even though it's way smaller than our moon, just under 2,500 kilometers across. Now picture this. What if a huge asteroid or rogue planet slammed into Pluto, or something like it in another star system, shattering it into icy chunks? One of those shards gets flung toward the inner solar system at breakneck speed. What you've got then is a kind of comet. But this one is made almost entirely of nitrogen ice. As it nears the sun, the nitrogen starts to sublimate, basically turning straight from solid to gas. But here's the thing. Because nitrogen is invisible and doesn't react much, we wouldn't see the typical glowing tail or coma we expect from comets. But just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. That invisible gas would still be releasing, acting almost like a natural thruster, nudging the object's trajectory ever so slightly, just like we saw with Oumuamua as it mysteriously sped up on its way out of the solar system. Now imagine that exact scenario happening in a distant star system, say near Vega, where Oumuamua appears to have come from. That ejected shard flies through space for millions of years, then makes a surprise visit to our solar system. What would it look like? Probably a lot like Oumuamua. Or, hey, maybe aliens did build a 100-meter-long, cigar-shaped tumbling space probe and launch it across the galaxy to cruise past Earth without doing, well, anything. Who knows? With 3 IATLAS, we finally get to watch an interstellar visitor as it enters the solar system, not after it's already leaving. We've got a front row seat to study it in detail, and maybe even get close enough to learn what it really is. And that matters a lot, because understanding objects like this helps us figure out how the universe really works. It lets us explore the massive natural processes unfolding out there in the cosmos, far beyond anything we experience here on our tiny pale blue dot. The best part? The most fascinating discoveries are still ahead of us. So what do you think? Are we dealing with ancient comets, alien tech, or something we haven't even imagined yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing what you think. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more space stories and cosmic mysteries. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.